Hello, friends. I'm Chris. I'm from Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness. Welcome to Yin-Yang Yoga. Today, I'm going to guide you through a 60-minute shoulder sequence. You can expect about the first 35 minutes to be a flowing vinyasa sequence of poses. The last 25 minutes will be mat-based, slow, but fairly intense from an intensity standpoint, from a sensation standpoint. What I think you'll need to be safe and to get the most out of your practice, 2 yoga blocks, a strap. If you don't have a strap, a belt or a towel for what we're doing today will be just fine. I recommend a yoga blanket. There's nothing that we're doing today that's strictly going to require a blanket, but it is a tool that I think can enhance the yin practice and just make you more comfortable. And a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you could use a couch cushion, something that's got a little bit of firmness and will give you a little bit of resistance. So press pause on your recording, roll out your mat, gather up all your materials, and then when you're ready, press play and I'll see you on your mat. All right, friends, I'll have you start this morning in half frog. So come down onto your belly. Go post your arms out to the side so elbows roughly in line with your shoulders, fingers pointing up toward the top edge of the mat. To start, rest your right cheek on the mat. Lift your left knee in the general direction of your left elbow. And I'm going to start with a reading from chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita. But I'll interrupt the reading a couple times to give you more cues. But to start here, I would say just lengthen out your breath. Maybe feel for the sense of gravity pulling your left hip down toward the earth. Chapter 10 is divine manifestations. The blessed Lord said, "Listen further, Arjuna, to these words that delight your heart. This is my utmost teaching, which I tell you for your greatest good. Neither the myriad gods nor any of the sages know my origin. I am the source from which gods and sages emerge. Whoever knows me is the unborn, the beginningless, the great Lord of all worlds. He alone sees truly and is freed from all harm. Understanding and wisdom, patience, truth, peace of mind, pleasure and pain, being and non-being, fear and courage, non-violence, equanimity, control, benevolence, fame, dishonor. All these conditions come forth from me alone. The 7 primeval sages, the 4 progenitors from whom all human beings descend, arose from my own depths, mind born. He who can understand the glory of my manifestations is forever united with me by his unwavering love. I'm the source of all things, and all things emerge from me. Knowing this, wise men worship by entering my state of being. Thinking and speaking of me, enlightening one another, their lives surrendered to my care, they are always serene and joyous. Lower your left knee back down in line with your right. Shift your gaze over to your right. Lift your right knee up in the general direction of your right elbow. And start to shift into your victorious breath. Add that ocean wave sound, that element of texture. To those who are steadfast, who love me with true devotion, I give the yoga of understanding, which will bring them to where I am. Acting with deep compassion and from within my own being, I dispel all ignorance-born darkness with wisdom's resplendent light. Arjuna said, "You, Lord, are the supreme freedom, the supreme abode, the eternal person, the primordial God, all-pervading, birthless." This is how the great sages describe you, the divine Narada, Sita, Devala, Vyasa, and now you yourself confirm it. Everything you have told me, Krishna, I believe is true. Neither the gods nor the demons can grasp your infinite forms. You alone know yourself through yourself, Lord of all beings, cause and origin, master of the universe, God of gods. Tell me now in detail the divine self-manifestations by which you pervade these worlds and grace them with so much splendor. How can I know you, Krishna? Which of your many forms should I visualize, Lord of Yoga, as I focus my thoughts on you? Give me some further examples of your glorious manifestations. for I never can tire of hearing your life-giving, honey-sweet words. And we'll pick up next week with the second half of chapter 10. Lower your right knee back down in line with your left, grab a block, and then roll over onto your right side. Find like a right forearm plank with your right shoulder floating over your right elbow, and then take your block, tuck it into your rib cage. So the edge of the block closest to you is in the rib cage. The edge furthest away is just barely in the armpit. And then bring your left hand down between your torso and the left hand edge of your mat, just enough that you can walk that right elbow forward. Release the right hand side of your head and face into your right hand. And feel free to use that left hand as a control knob. So we're looking for a threshold between discomfort and pain. If it's painful, like two things, that hand can be a big help, taking some pressure off. You could also put a bend in your knee. That might help for balance, but it'll reduce the sensation a little bit. Okay, stay right here. I forgot to start our music. We're going to transition from here into an internal rotation stretch. So what I would do, bring your left hand down between your torso and the left hand part of your body. Release your right hand down to the earth. Lift up, remove your block, and then lower back down onto your right side. And then walk your right elbow about 45 degrees from your body. You could rest your right ear on your right bicep if you want. Draw your right thumb in maybe 2 inches from your chest with the palm of your right hand facing the earth. Find your mechanical stopping point where just the mechanics of your body will keep the palm of that right hand from going any further down first. And then set, not press, but set your left hand on the back of your right hand. And any pressure that you add here, that's it. That's exactly right. Any pressure that you add, just add it slowly, really thoughtfully, and deliberately. And release your left hand, maybe lengthen your right arm out long. However you want to get there, use good body mechanics. Make your way onto your left side. Find that left forearm plank again. Tuck the block into your left rib cage. And then right hand down on your mat between your torso, the right hand edge of your mat. Ooh, just enough you can walk that left elbow forward. I'm always surprised how much more tender one side is for me and the other in the serratus anterior. In this side, this is pretty tough for me here. Release your right hand down to the mat, left hand down to the mat. Lift up, remove your block, come back onto your left side, and then just like the other side, left elbow about 45 degrees from your body. Drag your left thumb in 2 inches from your chest. Find your mechanical stopping point with your left hand facing the earth. And then just set your right hand on the back of your left hand. And maybe feel this on the top and outside of your left shoulder. You guys both think something here? Good, good, good. So we're putting ourselves in a little bit of a shoulder lock here. So there's a technique in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a shoulder lock called a Kimura. And when we're doing this feels like a really lightly applied Kimura to me. So we could definitely overdo it here. Be cautious, be careful with yourself. Show yourself lots of care and love. And then you can release your right hand, lengthen your left arm out long. Just use good body mechanics, however you want to get there, make your way into a tabletop shape. Float your shoulders over your wrists, float your hips over your knees. On an inhale breath, drop your belly down toward the earth. Lift your gaze forward, drag the heels of your hands back toward your knees. Exhale, press into your hands in your shins. Shift your gaze to the space between your knees. Do that 5 more times at your own pace, into your own breath. Beautiful breathing, friends. After 6, come to a neutral spine position. Tuck your toes under your feet. Take eagle legs. Draw your knees together. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Walk your feet out wide. Bring your left hand to the center of your mat under your sternum. Bring your right hand to the base of your skull. Right arm now parallel to the earth. Inhale, squeeze your legs together. Lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of your head. Exhale, lift your right elbow up toward the stars. Exhale, release slightly, maybe a third of the way down to the earth. Inhale, rise. Exhale, let it stop. Do this 4 more times at your own pace, in tandem with your own breath. After 6, come back to stillness. Release your right hand down to the earth. Bring your left hand to the base of your skull. Inhale, lengthen along your whole spinal column. Exhale, lift your left elbow. And just like the other side, find this cycling flow a total of 6 times. Just 6 full rounds. Release your left hand down to the earth. Release your knees back to hip distance apart, and then walk your hands back towards your knees. Sit into a hero's pose, maybe sitting on your heels, maybe sitting on 1 or 2 blocks. Totally up to you. And then feed your left arm across the front plane of your body. Catch your left wrist in your right hand. And use your right hand, traction the fingers of your left hand further to your right. Now, if you want, you could also catch your left tricep in that right inner elbow crease. It's a little bit different sensation. It's a really similar stretch, but I get into a little bit different, whether I'm applying traction or just hooking the inside of that forearm and the tricep. But they're both right. It's whatever your body's calling for. Gently release your left wrist down to the earth. We're going to change sides. Feed your right arm across the front plane of your body and take whichever version of this that you would like. That looks really good, you guys. Release your right hand back down to the earth. Sweep both arms out together in front of you. Bring tips of your fingers, heels of your hands, wrists, forearms, and elbows together. Elbows are just below chin level. Squeeze everything together. Continue to breathe. On your next inhale, feel for expansion of your diaphragm and your rib cage. Lift your fingers up slightly, 2 or 3 inches. Exhale, bring your elbows back down to our starting position. Inhale, lift the fingers up slightly. Feel the rib cage lift. Exhale, come back to our starting position. Inhale, lift the fingers up. Continue to breathe. This time as you exhale, press the fingers up as high as you can. And come back to our starting position. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze everything together. Inhale. Exhale, release your right hand to your chest. Shift your gaze to the right. Open your right arm out like a bird opening a wing. Good, you guys, really good. Inhale, come back into center. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, left hand to your heart, gaze to the left. Open your left arm wide. Center. Squeeze. Open to the right. Center. Squeeze. Left. Center. Squeeze. Right. Center. Squeeze. Left. Center. Squeeze. Stay right here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3 breaths. Great job. Relax your arms. Maybe shake your arms out. And then come back into a tabletop shape. On an inhale, tuck your toes up under your feet. Exhale, press up and back into downward facing dog. Make the small movements to warm your lower body. Right, and then find stillness in your lower body. Flatten your palms out on the earth. Press into your index, knuckle, and thumb. Relax your neck. Right, the last thing we did should give us a lot of serratus anterior opening earlier. So drag your elbows down toward the earth by 3/4 of an inch from where they are now, and then tweeze them together as if you were squeezing a beach ball in between your elbows. And breathe. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or step to the top edge of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. Whole belly resting on your thighs. Shift the weight into the balls of your feet. Like 70% of the weight of your body in the balls of your feet. And you can do whatever you want with your arms. Today, I'm just going to dangle my fingers under my shoulders. If your hands are already reaching down toward the earth, release them down toward the earth. Heel toe your feet together. Shift the weight into your heels. Now 70% of the weight in your heels. Leave the bend in your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press down into your feet. Sweep your arms all the way up over your head. Exhale, slice your hands down into heart center. Set an intention for your practice for today. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, go post your arms out to the side. Make little fists. Inhale, draw your shoulder blades together. Lift your gaze. Open your heart. Exhale, bring your hands, wrists, forearms, and elbows together. Release your chin to your chest, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into goalpost arms. Exhale, right from here, hinge into a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale in your high plank. Exhale, release your knees down to the earth, lower all the way down to your belly. And then inhale, open your heart. I'm going to choose easy cobra here. You could do Sphinx, you could do up dog. But pull your hands back towards your waist. Tweeze your elbows back into center. Soften your belly. And then on your next exhale, lower your heart down to the earth. Make your way back into downward facing dog. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or step to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, ghoul, post your arms out to the side. Inhale, lift your gaze, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into ghoul, post arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale and high plank. Exhale, make your way down to your belly, knees up or down. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step or float to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. So forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, ghoul, post your arms out to the side. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. From your down dog, draw in a life-affirming breath. Hold it at the top. And then exhale, open your mouth, let it go, make a ha sound. Good, you guys. Bend your knees, look forward, and then move to the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Shift the weight into your heels right away, 70% of the weight in your heels. Long, straight spinal column, any arm variation. Just one option, go push your arms out to the side. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Maybe sit a little more deeply into your chair. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into goal post arms. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth. Step back into high plank. Inhale, rock forward on your toes, float your shoulders over your wrists. Do exhale, knees up or down, chaturanga, low plank. Let the back of your head stay buoyant. Inhale, open your heart. Any heart opener. I'm choosing up dog here. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale, lift your right heel skyward. Exhale, reach it forward, rise up into warrior one. Focus on stabilizing the legs first. And then any arm variation. This is just one option. But to your arms out to the side, palms face forward, thumbs reach up to the stars. Inhale, turn your palms up, lift your gaze, start to turn your thumbs back behind you, open your heart. Exhale, sweep your fingers forward, release your chin to your chest, puff the space between your shoulder blades toward the back edge of your mat. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back, just the arms teed out to the side. And then on an exhale, release your hands down to the earth. Step back into high plank. And then you chart your own course to down dog. You could flow through a vinyasa. You could press directly there. You could take a little break in child's pose, towel off, take a drink of water. On an inhale, lift your left heel skyward. Exhale, reach forward, rise up into warrior one. Press down into all four corners of your left foot, the pinky edge bladed heel of your right foot. Any arm variation, again, this is just one option, it's one invitation. To your arms out to the side. And then from here, inhale, open your heart. Exhale, sweep your fingers forward, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, to your arms out to the side again. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth. High plank. And then chart your course to down dog, however you want to get there. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, move to the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, sit back into chair pose. Inhale in chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, any version of low plank. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. It's really graceful, intentional, and deliberate, friends. Beautiful work. On an inhale, sweep your right heel up toward the stars. Exhale, step it forward, rise up into warrior one. This is just transitional. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, open up into warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Pinky edge blade of your left foot parallel to the back edge of your mat. Right toes at 12 o'clock. And then track your right knee over toward the pinky edge blade of your right foot. Good, you guys. Now shift your gaze over the left-hand edge of your mat. So directly in front of your chest. On an inhale, flip your palms up, lift your gaze, turn your thumbs back behind you. Exhale, this time as we round, turn your palms down and then up in the opposite direction. Release your chin to your chest, round through your shoulders. Good. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into warrior two arms. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth, step back to high plank, and then you chart your own course to downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your left heel up toward the stars. Exhale, step it forward, rise up into warrior one. Stabilize on your inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Shift your gaze out over the right hand edge of your mat. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into warrior two arms. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth, high plank. And then from here, tap your knees down to the earth. So where we're at right now is a modified high plank. Walk your left hand to the far right hand edge of your mat. Lower your left forearm down. Use your right hand to trap your left wrist. And then from there, sit back into child's pose. Maybe press your hips a little further over to your left. Maybe walk your left hand further to the right. You could also release your left sits bone any amount closer down to your left heel. You guys getting something in the bottom of your left armpit? Good. Okay. Next, inhale, lift yourself back up to a modified high plank. And we're just going to do this kind of weird child's pose on the other side. Walk your right hand to the left edge of your mat. Drop the right forearm down. Left hand traps your right wrist, catches it and holds it right there. Child's pose. Lift yourself back up into a modified high plank. Release your right hand back to the right hand edge of your mat. Lower down to your belly. And then from here, reach your arms out over your head like you were flying. On an inhale breath, scoop the belly button towards your sternum. Feel your pubic bone root down into the earth. And then lift both hands, both arms. See, your head could be lifted, but I prefer your gaze not be cranked forward. So if your head is lifted, gaze directly under your forehead. Or your forehead could rest on the earth. Root your pubic bone even more firmly down into the earth. Maybe lift your arms up even higher. And then slowly, with control, lower your hands down to the earth. Release your forehead down to the earth. One full complete round of breath here. Inhale, scoop, bring your gaze back to neutral. Scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Inhale, lift your arms up off the earth. If you want to lift your legs as well, that's an option here. But if you lift the legs, feet no wider than hip distance apart, flex all 10 toes back towards your face, and turn your toes down toward the earth. Lift your arms any amount higher. We'll hold right here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Lower down to your belly. One full and complete round of breath. And if you remember the half frog arms we started with, come back to goalpost arms. Shift your gaze to neutral. On an inhale, scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Feel your pubic bone root into the earth again. Exhale, lift just your hands and wrists. So forearms and elbows stay rooted down to the earth. Continue to breathe. Root your pubic bone more firmly down into the earth. Now lift your forearms. So hands, wrists, forearms, lift, elbows stay glued to the earth for now. Maintain a long neck if you can. Now, if you like, lead with the hands and the wrist, the backs of the hands and the wrist. You can lift your elbows up off the earth. Draw your shoulder blades together like you were pinching a broomstick again. And then as we come out of this, lower the elbows first. Leave your forearms, wrists, and hands lifted. This is hard for you. You're not doing it wrong. This is just really hard. And then slowly lower your forearms, your wrists, your hands down to the earth. From there, friends, find any resting shape. Could be on your seat, your belly, your back, or your side. From your final, or rather, from your resting shape. However you want to get there, use good body mechanics, but make your way onto your right side, grab a block in that right forearm plank. Like sort of like what we start, not sort of, but exactly how we started earlier in the practice with that serratus anterior block release. Here we're going to do a release of the subscapularis. So place the block. Actually, I don't want it in the ribcage. I want it firmly in your armpit. And then left hand down to the mat between the torso, the left edge of your mat. Walk that right elbow forward. This time, instead of the block pressing into that trigger point, it's pressing up into your armpit, and the subscapularis can fold down to the earth. You guys get less sensation here than you had in the serratus anterior block release. What's that? More sensation? Okay. Is it painful? Oh, this might not be a great shape for you then. Denise, if you like, for your body, if you've got an injury in your shoulder, if you want to come back to that serratus anterior block release, or even just come down onto your side and let that shoulder relax down onto the earth. Either way works great. If you want to change up the sensation here a little bit, release your right hand down to the mat between your torso, the left edge of your mat. Use your left hand, cover the back of your right hand, and then release your forehead down to the back of your left hand. Lift yourself up out of this shape, remove the block, roll it back down onto your right side, and then however you want to get there, use good body mechanics, but we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So roll over onto your left side. And again, the block in the armpit, if that makes sense for your body. And then walk your left elbow further past the top edge of your mat. Release the left-hand side of your head and face into your left hand. and stay right here. There's nothing wrong with where you are. If you want to change up the sensation, release your left hand onto the mat between your block and the right hand to your mat. Use your right hand, cover your left hand, release your forehead down to the back of your right hand. Lift yourself up out of the shape. Remove your block. Make your way onto your belly into Sphinx pose. This will just be transitional for us. But from the Sphinx, if you would, place a block in between your wrists at the medium height. We're going to use this to set up for broken branch. Slide the palm of your left hand forward. Create that big, generous space under your left elbow. Slide your right arm across the front plane of your body under your chest. Right palm for now faces the sky. Slice your left arm back across your body. Walk, walk, walk the fingers out in opposite directions. And this may be plenty. You could stay right here. There's nothing wrong with this. This is a good place to be. You could also tuck your toes under your feet, rock the crown of your head forward. So it's called broken branch. And it can be a really polarizing pose in yin. When I first started a consistent yin practice of the conventional traditional yin shapes, this is probably one of my top two least favorites, this and saddle. But it's become a favorite for me. But I will tell you, that's not how everybody feels about it. That's okay. I also have a teacher and a mentor who feels really claustrophobic and almost triggered here. So whatever your emotional response is to the shape, it's okay. And it's like it's normal. So lift yourself up out of the shape, tuck your toes, walk your heels back behind you, unwind your arms, and we'll set up for the other side. Slide the palm of your right hand forward. Turn your left arm under your chest across the front of your body. Right arm crosses your left. Walk, walk, walk the fingers out in opposite directions and stay right here. Tuck your toes, press the crown of your head forward. Tuck your toes under your feet. Walk your heels back behind you. Unwind your arms. Make your way onto your belly. And then just using good body mechanics, transition to your back. And start with a full body stretch. Reach your arms all the way up over your head. And walk your legs over to the left, just to the point where your right hip point starts to lift up a little bit. That's probably plenty. And then walk your arms over to the left as well. And once again, once your right shoulder starts to lift, unless you're not getting enough sensation, that's probably plenty. So I love this banana asana pose, both for shoulders. I feel like it stretches the shoulders out, but it's also a great pose for lower back care. If you've got all the sensation you want, so on a scale from 0 to 10, you're at a 4 to a 6, stay right here. If your body wants more, you can walk your feet or your arms further over to the left. You could step your right ankle over your left, or you could loop a couple of fingers of your left hand around your right wrist and drag your right arm further over to the left. Release your right ankle from over your left. You can release your right wrist. Come back into center. Find a second full body stretch. Maybe check in, notice the difference between the length of the connective tissues on the left and right sides of your body. And then walk both feet over to the right until your left hip starts to lift up. Start to walk both arms over to the right until your left shoulder begins to lift.
You're good where you are right now. You don't have to change anything. Only if you want to add sensation, those three tools that I talked about on the other side, you have all of those available here as well. When we transition in about a minute to our final resting shape, I'm going to give you two suggestions if you're shopping around, if you're in the market and your body doesn't know exactly what to do right now. And the options that I offer are things that I think will be supportive of the work we did this morning. The ultimate test, the ultimate wisdom is your body. And if your body tells you what it wants, ignore any suggestions that I give and do what your body's asking for. You can release your left ankle from over your right. You can release your left wrist, come back to center. I recommend a full body stretch first, just to lengthen the tissues out again. And then make your way into a final resting shape. So again, if you're open to suggestions of something that supports our practice, two things that I can think of, and they both have the same effect in the body, but mechanically they do it from different places. So the first is two blocks at the lowest height, shoulder width apart, close to the top edge of your mat. Come down onto your belly with the tops of your shoulders near the top edge of the block. Release your hands down by your waist, palms facing the sky. So this is one option. Notice how the shoulder blades draw together here. Option two, heart bench. One block at the medium height. So the long edge of your block is parallel to the long edge of your mat. Second block, maybe 4 or 5 inches behind that. T12 vertebrae, bra strap level at the bottom of that block. And then release your spinal column down. Either of these poses will do basically the same thing with the body. So you can choose these or any other final resting shape. Check in with your body, ask your body what it needs, what it wants. And if that's more rest, you don't have to change anything. Otherwise, swallow 2 or 3 times and then start to reanimate your body with movement, including some deeper breaths. Bring the palms of your hands together in front of your face. Rub your palms together. Generously warm them. And then cup the palms of your hands over your eyes. Pause here for a moment. And then start your circle and radiate outward, massaging your whole face and neck. And then mindful of the props that are supporting you, roll over onto either side into a fetal position. Take 3 or 4 breaths right here. Check in with your body. I'm going to ask you to notice 2 things. One, feel for space and openness in your shoulder complex. And just notice if you created any space for you there in the work that you did. And the second, check in with your nervous system. And there too, notice if you created and opened up some space for yourself there. And press yourself up into any seated position. Could be legs crossed, could be hero's pose, could be anything. Bring the palms of your hands together in front of your face again. Rub the palms of your hands together. And then set the heels of your hands on the bottom of your eye sockets. Cup your whole palm over your eye. Start here. Tweeze your elbows together. And then I'd like you to leave your shoulders stacked over your hips, but release your forehead forward. So you have this strong triangle shape of your arms supporting your face and neck. Lift your head back up to neutral. Float your head over your shoulders, over hips. Release your hands. Start to take your fingers, the center of your eyebrows. Tweeze and massage your brow line from the center to in the direction of your temples. And then once you've reached the edge of the temples, take both thumbs, place them in the center of the upper eye socket. Apply slight upward pressure of the thumbs toward the stars and downward pressure of your chin toward the earth. Bring your chin back to neutral. Release your thumbs. Take index fingers of both hands to the bottom of your eye sockets. Apply slight downward pressure with the tips of your fingers toward the earth. Slight upward pressure of your chin toward the stars. And then bring your chin back to neutral. Slice your hands down into heart center. Thank you, friends, for the honor of allowing me to guide you through your practice this morning. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. And may you know peace. Draw your thumbs to the Ajna chakra, the space between your eyebrows. Blessings to you and your family. And that concludes our practice for this morning. Friends, once again, I'm Chris. I'm from Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness. And this was our Yin-Yang yoga shoulder sequence. You're doing great. Keep going and go Astros.